But when the Porsche on campus, I'm like, oh.
I ain't pull up in a Bentley. Nah, I pulled up in a Porsche with a $45,000 check.
Welcome to the Black to School podcast. With two or more gathered, anything is possible. I'm one of your hosts, Hughes.
And I'm your other host, Kedar, representing that Norfolk State. This podcast is to highlight successful stories of students that are currently at an HBCU, alumni of an HBCU, or affiliated with an HBCU. So make sure you tune in weekly.
Welcome to the Black to School podcast. With two or more gathered, anything is possible. I'm your host, Hughes.
What's up? It's your boy, Kedar.
So look, it's been a great week. Actually, man, my kids. So I'm actually in education. So we got the call that we got to go back in person. So the big debate now is, because my kids, they want to go back. So I heard my daughter this morning, asking my wife. She was like, "So why does Daddy get to go back to school, but we can't go back to school?" So I could hear them like going back and forth, and she was like, "Well, why don't you go upstairs and you ask your daddy?" She was like, "Well, I already asked him." She was like, "So why are you coming around to me for it? Why don't you go talk to him? Like he's the one that told you can't go." So so I went to her and I was like, "So look, I need you to look up, the numbers and the statistics as far as, the COVID situation." And it was kind of difficult because, she wasn't really trying to hear anything I was saying. I definitely understand, with the whole pandemic, aside from students, suffering as far as academically, the big piece that's missing is the social aspect. So, I'm still mulling over it, with you being in Georgia, how is that? And you guys been wide open, so how's that been?
Bro, when I say Georgia wide open,
Y'all got All-Star Weekend coming up.
All-Star Weekend coming up.
Full
I'm
blown.
talking about wide open, man. It's crazy. My kids are at home though. I don't play that.
Okay.
They're at home. Yeah, man. It's Georgia wide open. All-Star game coming. Like it ain't no play in GA. It's tough.
I don't even think y'all was shut down, man. But like for what, like a week?
3 days. That was it. 3 days to get everybody, get your gas, get your mind right. You gotta open this thing back up. You ready? Here we go. Nah, it's tough. I feel bad for the teachers, man. I feel bad for y'all. They got to go back into the building.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of people.
It's a lot of teachers that put themselves at that have those underlying health conditions. I mean, think about the teachers you had growing up. Like they weren't like health nuts. They didn't. A lot of them was tired and overweight.
That's true.
Because they was tired, and so they got to go home and deal with their own kids. Then you expect for them to go work out after that? You got to be superwoman or have older kids.
It's true.
In the education industry. But nah, I mean it's I feel bad. It's tough. I'm excited. Here's what I'm excited about.
Okay.
Bro, our first week releasing the podcast, we did all right.
Hey.
Like the response, the love, like
we appreciate it.
The way people are like appreciating what we are doing.
Appreciate it.
I'm talking about like folks is like, y'all doing absolutely. Y'all need to interview this person, this person, y'all need to do this and do. It's just been love. So I just want to thank y'all. Hey, look, we just getting started. So make sure y'all keep coming back. Make sure you tell your people. Subscribe, like
and share.
Look now, don't be telling me that you enjoy it. Me telling Hughes that you enjoy it, but you ain't even subscribed yet.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm talking to you. Nah, it's great, man. We got a great show today too. We got Virginia State in the building.
Trojans is in the house
We
today.
got Virginia State in the building. We got two people from Virginia State. One is they're both young, but one is super young, like just graduated from Virginia State. The other graduated years prior. Both of these guys, one of them worked for Fortune 100, Fortune 200 companies doing internships. And then the other guy, he didn't know what he was going to do when he graduated. Had a new baby, living back home, had to figure it out, got his real estate license. Now both of them have teamed up together, make well over 6 figures wholesaling real estate. They got they joined together to come up with their own company, Real Estate Cash Academy. Now they teaching others. And see, that's what I love about it, man. You know what I'm saying? You learn how to do it, you reach back, teaching others to do the same thing, make passive income through wholesaling as well as Airbnb. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Virginia State University, go Trojans. Give it up for Gene Holloman and Corey Vickers. Hey.
Welcome, guys. Welcome.
Yes, what's up, fellas?
This podcast, Black to School Podcast, we just want to highlight people that are currently at an HBCU, graduated from HBCU, or affiliated, just to bring awareness, bring about support, and just to give confidence that going to an HBCU is on the same playing field as being at a PWI, and that actually what you can get from an HBCU may equip you more for life than just going to a PWI where there's a quote unquote prestige associated with the school name.
Right.
So that's the whole purpose of this podcast.
All right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, Corey and I basically, we went to the same HBCU, Virginia State University. And it definitely, going to an HBCU, the experience you get from actually going and the culture and the environment that you get is it's just a different type of feeling. You don't get that anywhere else. I also played football as well at Virginia State. So it was more, you know how we are with football, and we were winning back then too. So it's more so like everything was like really culture orientated. Like from the athletic directors to the teachers, like everybody was like super hands-on, super involved. Like people knew everyone on a first name basis, like things like that. It's more so of a family type of vibe. It wasn't more so like back then, like it was more so like everybody wanted to help each other, like with their goals in life, but we were so young, we didn't really know like what we really wanted to do, but we had an idea of what we wanted to do, and it definitely prepared us for after college as well, because you're way more diverse. You can talk to a plethora of people. Like you're definitely multicultural, and especially at Virginia State University, it was definitely we had different cultures on the campus. It was.
So where are y'all from?
I'm from the Hampton Roads area in Virginia Beach.
Okay.
And I'm originally from Long Island, New York, and I moved to Chesapeake, Virginia in 10th grade.
New York.
Wow.
New York.
Cheesy peasy.
Yeah.
So all right. So originally from Hampton Roads, from Chesapeake. Did you guys know each other in high school?
No, we didn't. So I'm probably like I think I'm 3 years older than Corey, I want to say.
Okay.
We didn't know each other in high school, but we were kind of my coach at the particular time recruited him as well to come to Virginia State.
Okay.
So we kind of tapped in on more so as like football. We had the same personal trainer and everything too. So it was more so like a sports related connection at first
Gotcha.
when I first met Corey. So that's
Gotcha.
really how we first met, right?
Okay.
It
Gotcha.
wasn't on
Gotcha.
real estate. It was more so on like football.
Yeah, so the time that I was coming in was the time that he was going out. So I watched the film and I knew his last name. I knew who this lengthy number 3 was on the outside, but I never met him in person.
Wow. Yeah. So I just he reached out to me a couple of times, and he all like the thing with Corey, he wanted like he wanted to do better for himself. Like
Wow.
when we first started, he reached out to me and just was like, "Hey, I'm just trying to get this thing going. Like I need some direction." And I remember being in the same exact boat, and I didn't have anyone to reach out to. Like, and I was like, "Yeah, let me give him a hand," because we definitely like we went to the same HBCU, and it was like that was the connection, and
Yeah.
more so of he even invited me out to have I had like a free seminar for like students out there, teaching them how to like wholesale real estate. Um, and he took it and ran with me. He took it and ran.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's one of those things like, and I've seen him like literally progress. He calls me and he's like, "Look, man, I'm trying to go up to this next level. What do I need to do?" And I just basically just basically talking them through everything, like or what I did or what mistakes I made. Because in this business you're gonna make a lot of mistakes early.
Yeah.
And it's better if you make them early as well. But
Right.
I didn't want him to go through what I went through.
Right.
Because older individuals in the same field were basically doing the same thing to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be that type of person. So I wanted to fully extend my hand to him and help him out with his real estate journey as well. So as time progressed, you see, it just ended up working out for both of us, and that's why I build my relationships. Like if I partner with you through a business entity, it's not for more. It's just not going to be for money. It's more so of a loyalty connection because
That's the
um,
best.
even in business, people do shiesty things.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
me just knowing his character and basically
Character is
how he
huge.
started,
Yeah.
and it's just a really crazy, humbling experience. Like, and it's just like I don't like taking credit for nothing he does. I'm not that type of guy, but it's just really like I just be like, dang, that's crazy. Because everything I told him, he listened to and it worked. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah.
So
Yeah, for
Corey,
sure.
Nice. So
Corey, he talks about how you reached out to him. Why why did you say, "Hey, I want to reach out to him and get advice"? What was it about him that you said, "I want to reach out to him and get that guidance"?
For sure. So, I was on Instagram and I saw that he was actually buying, investment properties. A lot of people in the wholesale industry are really just about, being able to get the quick dollar. And I saw this gentleman was actually buying these assets and renting them out and was doing Airbnb and kind of had a different creative approach. And I led with, I want to leave with value. I'm not coming to you like, oh, let me take, or how do you do this and how do you do that? It's like, hey,
Yeah.
you got an event at VSU. Okay, let me tell people on campus, to come. Let me just try, like I said, lead with value first. And then from there, just building that rapport and just being genuine. Like I said, I definitely give a lot of credit to Gene as well. Having somebody that I can talk to, hey man, should I buy this rental property? Should I spend all my cash on this one? No, Corey, wait, you shouldn't do that. Or, just guiding that process. But I think the biggest thing is a lot of people try to look for that on campus or outside of campus, and they're always leading with, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? Or try to take. You want to lead with value.
right.
Man, if I get a deal in Petersburg, I'll send it to you. If I get this deal, I'll send it to you. And then, just being able to understand people and, how to start building rapport with people to have those strategic, connections.
Yeah.
Bro, that's awesome. I want to take it a step. I want to take it a step back, and I want to go back to high school for you guys. And I want to know what led you to choose an HBCU. Were there other options for you? Were there other HBCU options? One, what led you to an HBCU, but what led you to Virginia State?
You want to go? Oh, I guess I'll go first. So, when I was in
Since
high
you since
school,
you the old head, Gene. You
yeah,
go
right,
first.
exactly. Yeah, so when I was in high school, so I played football. You know the recruiting process and everything. So it was between ODU, Hampton, and Virginia State. So I had like three. I had a ODU when it first came out, like they first introduced their
Hampton,
football
Virginia
program.
State.
Hampton and Virginia State. But
Yep.
basically what happened was my coach, he didn't tell me about my Hampton offer. My barber actually told me about my Hampton offer. Yeah, so it was crazy. Yeah, my barber told me like, yeah, I cut the Hamptons offensive coordinator, and he's been trying to reach out and recruit you, bro. Like, I don't know if your coach is telling you, but he's been trying to get in contact with you. So,
wow,
yeah, it was an interesting experience with that. ODU, they didn't give me a full scholarship, so I didn't go to ODU.
gotcha.
In Hampton, I didn't even meet the deadline because of what my coach had did. In Virginia State, they offered me a full scholarship. So, you know, I went with that offer and we took it, and then we ran with it. And at that time, Virginia State was transitioning out of like the College Hills days, because Virginia State was literally like when I went to Virginia State, it was like a party campus. Like it was, yeah, it was just.
That's what we heard. It was a party school.
Yeah, you and you went hard too. So, but one thing I loved, yeah. So one thing I loved about Virginia State, it really was it was its own like little town, its own city within the city. Like it was, and the experience you get behind the little city is just, it was so eye-opening, like with organizations, with frats, with sororities, with everything. It was like we were in the prime of Black culture, Black like it was amazing. Like, and I even you saw people coming back to Virginia State that were millionaires. Like,
wow.
And I'm just like, okay, this was you never see that image in the neighborhood. You don't know that,
right.
You know, some people get comfortable and they do want to make a better life for their family, so they do move out. So it's more so of like, I'm just like, I never even knew this was like possible. Like, now that I'm looking back on the aspect, like the business side of everything, I think our athletic director name was Peggy Davis. And she was charging like $5,000 for a parking spot on homecoming. So if I'm yes. So if I'm doing that and people were paying, we was winning football game, like we was like we were like the number one in CIAA and everything. So we packed that stadium out. There was no empty space. Like the business aspect of everything. Now I look back on things, it's crazy. It's amazing of the creativeness that our culture can bring within its own little city, and you wouldn't even know that it's that many, that we produce that many millionaires or multimillionaires.
Wow.
And I can't. What's that building, Corey? I can't think. In the business department.
That's my department.
Oh yeah, so you're gonna talk about that. Okay, so because I didn't even know about that until I came to Virginia State. I'm like, he was a billionaire?
Wow.
And we didn't know?
First Black billionaire.
How do we not know that?
He was a man of Kappa Alpha Psi.
Why do we not know? Why is that not?
Of course he was.
Why did I not know that even growing up or coming out of why did I not know that?
Right.
And I went to Virginia State and I Googled the name of the building. I'm like, first Black billionaire. What the heck? I never knew that.
Wow.
And he went to Virginia State. So you got to realize like that after even like now that where I am now with business, that is like super motivational. Like, because it's like he came from the same exact place. Like, What is the possibilities? What aren't the possibilities? So
that's right.
Right.
Exactly.
Corey, how about for you? How did you end up at a HBCU, specifically Virginia State?
Got you. So similar to Gene, I trained really hard in football. I was able to get a scholarship. So I had an offer to Lincoln University. I took a trip to Lincoln. Wasn't really my vibe. Really didn't like the structure of the university, but I definitely know it was a great school. I also had a preferred walk on to NSU, and then I had a partial scholarship to Virginia State University. But I knew at my core I wanted to go to HBCU because the school that I went to was a private Christian school, and the people there were very conservative. Just being frank, very racist as well, and they talked very down, talked very negative. Do you think you're going to get a job? Do you think you're going to make six figures? Why do you want to be in this environment and it's not preparing you for the real world? And that was my biggest motivation. I told Miss Hampton that, look, I'm going to an HBCU and I'm going to make it out this HBCU. I'm going to be the most successful person in this classroom. And I said it and then, was able to do it now. So then I went to Virginia State University. When I went up there on my official visit, I saw, like Gene said, African-American men and women, with suits on. I actually went on a Wednesday. So, the students had to wear business suits. The first doctor I met, the first black doctor I met was on the campus of Virginia State University.
Wow.
4 years and people power, and I was just so inspired. I can say my mother definitely helped me in decision as well. She definitely pushed for an HBCU education. She really, she had me at 17 years old, so she missed out on the opportunity to go away to college.
Right.
So she really, really pushed for me to go to HBCU no matter what. And that really guided me to go to Virginia State University. And like Gene said, the family atmosphere, I knew that, if I can work hard every day and I can do the right thing every day, I can make the right connections and get to where I got to go.
Man, that's awesome, bro.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Let me ask y'all, how old are y'all?
I'm 23 years old. I just turned 23. I just recently graduated, class of 2020 at Virginia State University.
23 years old?
Yeah.
Wow, bro,
Literally
that's amazing. Bro, congratulations on graduating.
I'm 27. I graduated class of 15.
Wow.
2015. You say you're 47?
27. 27.
What motivated you guys to get into real estate?
So for me, I went to Virginia when I was at Virginia State. I wanted to go to corporate route. I was like, man, I want to get an internship. So I got a Fortune 100 internship at Liberty Mutual. I used Thurgood Marshall College Fund. They actually, have an event in DC. I heard about it. They say, yo, the sharpest HBCU minds go to this event and they get in six-figure jobs. And a lot of people on campus kept talking about it. So I went to that event. I made that connection. I was able to attend Thurgood Marshall and was able to get honored, a job, an internship at Altria, which was the world's largest cigarette, provider at the time. So I did a Fortune 100 internship and a Fortune 200 internship through, Thurgood Marshall, which is, an HBCU initiative company that helps, give students scholarships as well as internships. And also through Thurgood Marshall, I was able to get a Wells Fargo $5,000 scholarship. So I got into real estate.
Wow.
I saw that in Virginia State, definitely in Petersburg, Virginia, there was a lot of vacant homes. And I said to myself, we did community service at Walnut Hill Elementary, and I saw that everybody in that elementary school was using the same bathroom. They were walking the girls and the boys using the same bathroom. I was like, man, what can I do? What can we do? Yeah, what can we do to fix this community? I'm a member of a Greek fraternity, and I'm like, what are we doing? The community on the outside of this campus is going through it. It's hundreds of vacant homes. So I just started getting on YouTube, started doing research, on how to get into real estate with little to no money. I actually, had an older fraternity brother that lent me, really gifted me $5,000 to take a program, to take a course, to be able to learn the techniques, from an online program. So from there, I took that $5,000 course and was able to, at the end of my internship, I was able to make $15,000 on my end of my.
Did you pay him back?
He gifted it to me. He said, "Don't worry about it, brother."
Wow, that's
hey
love.
Man, hey, you got beer and chicken for life for him.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, Gene. How about for you? What? So you guys are in real estate. Before Gene, you tell us why you got into real estate. Can you guys give us just a background of the type real estate that you're dealing with right now?
Yeah, so I'm in the wholesaling, fix and flip business, and I Airbnb some of my units. I'm really pretty much everything you can honestly think real estate besides commercial units. Multifamily, duplex, Airbnb, long-term rentals, wholesaling, fix and flip. So that's really pretty much my whole business structure
And what
in a
made you
nutshell.
get into it?
Yeah, so when I was in college, right? So this is the crazy part. Like, we're about to graduate, so we're putting in like a whole bunch of job applications, and like they were like, you need to put in job applications like 6 months to a year prior, so you can have a job when you get out of college.
Yep.
So we were doing this, like me and my friends, we lived on campus, so we were putting in applications, like job applications, whatever. And a YouTube video came up on wholesaling houses and how someone made like $30,000 in like 2 weeks,
Mm.
like with no money, with no credit, da da da. I'm just like, yeah, right. Like that's not even possible. Like, so my friend was like, bro, no, this is possible. He's like, my cousin was doing this up in New York back in like 2012 or whatever. So I'm like, bro, no way. So I hop on the phone with his cousin. He's like, yeah, I used to do that. It was just like, it was in New York, but it was such a thing. So I deep dive into like wholesaling houses on YouTube. And like, the more I get into it, the more I kind of figure out what's going on.
Right.
So I'm researching this. Mind you, I'm in college. And after I get out of college, I literally go get my real estate license because that's the way I thought that you had to do it. So
Right.
basically, I was basically in for a surprise because at the end of the day, it still sales. Like you,
Right.
if you don't have any clientele to if their credit not good, and that's the hardest part about being the agent. If you don't get listings and you got to convert clients and they don't have good credit and all that process. So basically, like, it was a slower process. It took like a month to even close on houses. And then I found out about the investing side of it, which was the wholesaling part, which I was already looking into. So when I got my real estate license, I just deep dive back into the wholesaling part about it.
Mhm.
And I went driving for dollars. I was living with my mom at that particular time, and I was just driving for dollars in my mother's neighborhood, and I saw a for sale by owner sign, like, and I literally just called the people, and they was like, yeah, we want 120 for it or whatever. I think it was like 120.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, cool. I'll give you 120. I didn't know how I was gonna do it. I just knew I could. I knew
Right.
I could
Wait a
sell
minute.
anything. So
They said 120, but you didn't even know how you was gonna do it.
no, I didn't. I
Wow.
didn't know how I was gonna
And
do
you
it at
just
all.
said cool.
I said, cool, yeah, because it was okay. So the thing about it, how I knew how to run numbers though. That was the only thing. Like, I knew how to run comp.
Okay.
Houses in that neighborhood were selling for 250. I couldn't lose, like, and I know that because that's my mom's neighborhood.
What?
So right, exactly. So I'm like, I know for a fact, like, I can get 240, 250 off this house, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? But that I wasn't even thinking like a flipper back then, because if I was, I would have kept the house, flipped it. I probably would have actually kept
Right.
it, actually, not even sold it. It would have been my rental today because it's in the prime area of Virginia Beach, right in town center. So it was
Wow.
like, I found that deal like within 2 weeks of being a realtor. And I
Wait,
basically,
wait. So no. Tell me the deal. They
oh
said
yeah, I'm
120.
gonna get into it. I'm
You
gonna get into
said
it.
cool.
So
Bruh, I gotta hear this.
I got the deal. I met up with the owners. I got the deal. I signed it on a realtor's contract, which is like a 10, 15 pager. So it was not like the one pagers that we use now, but I signed it on that, and I'm just like, how am I going to sell this? Like, what am I going to do? So I'm like, okay, let me go figure out what wholesaling is. Again, like, I need to really understand. And they're like, okay, so I just need to find a person that'll buy this from me for an extra $10,000, because that was the base price. Like, everybody was like, yo, you can just sell it for 10,000 more than what you have it, and you keep the 10,000 in between. So I was like, okay. I'm like, let me just hit up a couple people. I had my realtor agent, the person I was under, I was asking him, I'm like, you think this is a good deal? Like, I'm trying to sell this for like probably 130 or something. And he was looking at it and looking at the comps. He was like, yeah, I'll buy it from you. And I was like, you sure? Like, for real? But and like
he sucked at you.
But like, so being a salesperson I am today, knowing if someone will buy something for you that quick, that means you sold it super undervalued. Like, so
Oh yeah.
I didn't even know. I just was like, okay, cool. And it was literally the quickest $10,000 I ever made in my life. Like the most money I ever made in my life in the quickest, like ever. Like it literally took like
right.
2.5 weeks to close. And I remember posting it and everything. It was so surreal. Like I was like, wow, what do I do next?
Wow.
Like, and then I just was like, okay, I got to repeat the process. And that's just kind of really what happened from there. And it just kind of was like a snowball effect. I was doing it when it wasn't any black people. Like it probably in Virginia, it probably was like 4 black people that I saw on social media actively doing it, like real estate, when it was like no one really was talking about it. It was probably like 4, and I reached out to every single last one of them. Every one of them. Like I have them to this day, and I've met up with them, and I've ended up talking to them like, you remember when I reached out to you, da da da, and they're like, yeah, it's so crazy how far you came. It's just crazy. So, but yeah, that's how I got started.
So what is you guys' motivation? Because this is a daunting task to take on these type of jobs as far as in real estate. So what's your motivation? Because some people can like you said, you saw the YouTube video, you was a little tentative. What's your motivation in not being fearful in taking these deals?
My motivation is just knowing I gotta provide. It's not really it's nothing to talk like. If you provide, if you got kids, if you have a family, it's not really nothing to talk about. Like, right. Which you the man, right?
Right.
So it's not really that's my motivation. My motivation always been family, like family, kids. Like I'm big on family. Like I'm super family.
So you have kids?
Yeah, I got 2 boys.
Wow, congratulations.
2 boys, and they looking at you too.
I'm telling you, right? They do everything I do. So when I like, and the example set so well that they know, like they be like, yeah, my daddy like he sell houses, like, or my daddy rent this house out, or like they really know what's happening, what's
what
going
you do,
on.
right? Corey, how about for you? What was your first deal, and how did it come about?
Gotcha. So my first deal, I was praying about it, reading about it, trying to figure out how this thing works. Now I went on Craigslist and I saw someone put out there, that they had a home for sale, kind of like Gene, just found a for sale by owner. I met the person at the house. I don't know nothing about a house. I never fixed a house. I never even seen a gutted out house before in my life. And he told me a price. He said he wanted I think he said he wanted 18 for us. I was like, hey, can you do 15? In my mind, I'm just thinking, look, as long as I get at one price agree, I could sell it for more, even if it's $500. I don't mind. So I got it. I came to an agreement. I got the contract online. I was able to sign it with that person. I was able to put it on Facebook. I found a buyer. I'm in the cab. They were calling me and texting like, can I go see the house? Can I go see the house? They went in the house and the guy called me, said, come by. I'll give you a $3,000 deposit. I'll take, I want it for 18. So I got the whole $3K up front. And like I said, I had worked a job at Liberty Mutual that summer. I think it was $18 an hour, and I was making $1,000 every 2 weeks. I was like, man, I made $3,000 that fast. This is crazy. So that was kind of my first deal. Yeah, my first deal. I was a junior in college, and I
was about to say, you were in college with this money.
Yeah, that's big,
bro. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy. So my motivation has just always been, I like to call success is determined by how many lives are better off because you live. So whenever I'm there, I love
Say that again. Say that again, bro, because I don't know if people caught that. Say that again.
So success is determined by how many lives are better off because you lived.
Wow.
That's deep, bro.
That's
That's
big.
a bar.
That's my favorite quote. So that's just my motivation throughout college was really I just want to graduate and be free. What do I need to do to graduate and not have to go work for a company and be able to do what I love, which is just helping, sellers, buyers, whoever I can
Right,
in this vehicle of real estate investing. So that was really just my motivation.
right.
So while at Virginia State, what got you guys to what got you guys prepared for life even after college?
I would say what prepared me for life after college, you know, being at an HBCU, like I said earlier, knowing that it's possible, seeing, black men that are, doctors in education, seeing some high performing individuals that look like me in their fields, being able to give back and teach to me in the classroom. So that was it.
Mm,
That really helped me mold it. And also, but joining a fraternity really gave me that structure I needed, leadership abilities, really the business aspect, being able to put proposals through, run community service events,
Yeah.
budgeting. So also joining a fraternity really helped me really prepare myself for that. And like I said earlier, doing these internships while these guys are at these HBCUs and going to these events where I went to an event and it was an all black male room and they were talking about how to, be successful and thrive in a corporate setting as an African American man. So this was the type of
mm.
training that I was getting while at an HBCU at an HBCU funded event. So that's what really molded me, and also, the public speaking class I loved and I learned a lot from that and really how to, engage with people, how to get people's hearts, how to speak properly. So the HBCU really, really helped and molded me. And also to have that confidence. The people in my circle, all go-getters. Deloitte, my fraternity brothers, had internships with Terrence Jake and $15,000 scholarships, military officers. So I was in a circle where people, everybody in the room was trying to go as hard as they can. Everyone's trying to graduate and get six figures. So that was the energy of my circle in college.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's dope.
mine was the complete opposite. So yeah, on none of that. We weren't on none of that at all. Like we were winning football games, we were partying, and we were learning. Don't get us wrong, but that's what we were doing for the most part. But what molded us was the same thing. In seeing these older black women and black men like really, and they're older too, like they pulling up in big boy cars, like for real, like
Right.
Porsches, like for like, and you like, hold on. So you see like we get money too like that, like, so it's more so like a right, because you, especially in Virginia, you do not see that.
You
So
don't see it.
you don't see that. It's very rare in between that you see that, especially being a minority or color person, especially a black person, to even accumulate that much success. So it was more so eye-opening and just like, okay, I can do this. Like I can do this too. Because these are people, and you have conversations with them and they'll let you know what they're doing. And some of them corporate, some of them entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dang, y'all. And it's one thing they always talk about is just the amount of focus that they put in for X amount of years to build whatever they had up to get to that level that they were at. So that's what kind of put me in my streamline, my focus. I went out and purchased my first 5 properties in my first 2 years of real estate, because it
Wow.
won't really not, it wasn't anything to talk, like I saw that I could do it, and it was just like, okay, I'm just gonna keep repeating this process. It's not unattainable. So
Yeah.
once I figured out the methods and my methods of how my business model worked, I just went full steam ahead, because I knew the goal was financial freedom, and the key to
Right.
financial freedom is ownership. And it's not really anything else to get. It's not really, like, people always try to combat that with, oh, like a large lump sum of money, but you can have 200 million. Yeah, it's life changing, but if you don't have any hard assets behind that, or you don't have any ownership behind that, the vehicle of the money is potentially
You just
worthless.
got 200 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And it's not working for
what is
you.
it doing? it's not doing anything for you. So like I try to just preach that message to the community, because we get so caught up in the materialistic things. And I'm not gonna lie and say I don't fall subjected to the victim of those things at particular times, but I make sure that my blanket of investments cover for what I do want to do. So it's just more so of, if you're gonna do it, just have your eggs in different baskets, because we like multiple sources of income as well. So it's just really, we have to unlearn and relearn, especially if we were conditioned a certain type of way. And that is what Virginia State definitely taught me, because it just, everything we learned as a kid, it just wasn't right. So I'm just gonna be the person to say it. So it's like, it's just, you have to come to realization and unlearn and relearn. If your parents weren't the business aspect or business savvy type of people, you have to be that for your kids and their next generation, because that's how you even the playing field.
100%.
And just jumping on what you just said, that wasn't something that was taught as a kid. But now you guys, with you guys being successful, you guys are actually reaching and teaching others. So like, what made you guys say, hey, I'm gonna not only just make all this money, but I'm gonna now teach people how to make this money. What motivated you guys to do that? Because you guys could have just been like, hey, I'm just gonna get this money, and you guys get it on your own.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely had a lot of conversations about it, and did we want to do it? And we really just thought back to the amount of people that kept DMing us, reaching out to us, asking us questions, and seeing that they're not getting the right guidance. They don't have the right tools to be able to do deals consistently, or get their first rental property, or get these passive income through Airbnb. So it just came to a point where we said, you know what? Like I said earlier, it's not about us. It's about reaching back and giving back to someone. I was always taught that you should be reaching back to somebody, and you should also be reaching up to somebody who's above you. So we really came together. It did take some time. We did have to take some time away from our business, but we really created a program to really help somebody that wants to, get deals. I just closed on a deal on Thursday for $32,500, literally 2 or 3 days ago. And I thought to myself, I said, man, how great would it feel if I was able to teach someone else how to do it? The money's going to keep, we're going to keep doing business, but I really want to know what it's like to help the next person, be able to close on it.
Right.
Well,
so you guys created a course.
Yeah.
We have a course that teaches individuals how to scale from wholesaling, which is how we both started, to then funneling that money into rental properties and or Airbnbs, and create passive income up to $5,000 monthly. And that's really basically what we do. And why I started teaching is because I was hosting seminars probably like 2 years ago. Like just for anyone that kind of would listen. Like it was just I'm like, I gotta get this message out. So I was hosting seminars at rec centers and things of that nature, and at schools in like Virginia State, and I would go back, and people had success, but the person I put the most in, like when I figured out was really touching like people's lives, is when like I impacted Corey's life. Like he went from making like 3,000 to like 10,000, and then 10,000, and then up. And I'm just basically giving him the steps of basically what to do. I'm like, he's actually he's emulating everything I'm saying, and he's putting it into action, and it's working for him. I'm like, okay, so it's working, and he's the only, but he kind of was that 1% that would listen and take the advice and actually go all the way through with it and do it actually work. Right. So that was more so of like, I'm like, okay, he actually gets it. He actually listens. So he actually is reaping all the benefits from this. So everyone always was like, okay, can you teach me this? Can you teach me that? Yeah, I'll teach you, but it's on you to go put everything I teach you into action. These are all actionable steps that any human being that has a cell phone can do. It's just it's a lot of work. And that's just the thing with this is you're hunting your food. Like that's really all it is. And but if you have that type of that drive and that tenacity, then you'll definitely be able to succeed in this business like Corey and I. So I remember my first time. This what I think it made Corey's eyes open up to like the scale of real estate. So I went.
You pulled up in a Bentley.
I pulled
Is
up
that
in a
what it was?
Porsche. Nah, I ain't
But when the Porsche on campus, I'm like, oh.
I ain't pull up in a Bentley. Nah, I pulled up in a Porsche with a $45,000 check from real estate, and he was like,
wow.
He was like, bro, I was like, yeah, I just made 45,000 on this wholesale deal or whatever. He was like,
Wow.
bro, no, you didn't. I'm like, bro, you think I'm not the person to lie, bro. I'm not, I never came, I'm not the, that's never been
No
me.
cap.
I don't gotta cap it. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, show me. I was waiting for him to say it too. He's like, show me. I'm like,
Right, because you had it ready. You was like, bro, it's in my pocket, it's in my pocket.
I pulled it out. He was like, oh man, like, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, bro, like, this is what's really happening for real. So that and just to see him like,
so Corey knew he wasn't going to the NFL at this point. So he
right,
said,
yeah.
you know
So
what? I gotta figure something out.
Corey in
I don't need
college.
to.
Y'all don't understand Corey's sacrifice though. He'll go and he'll tell you, but his sacrifice and determination, I promise you, God has blessed him tremendously. He is supposed to be in the position he is in today.
Right.
Because I've literally seen him sleeping on the dorm room couch. So it's not, it is really like, it's so crazy how much that when you set your goals and you pray and you just keep grinding of where your life can be and change. He's so young. I tell him all the time, because I started when I was 24. I started when I was like 25, 26. So no, 25. Yeah, just turned 25. I got my real estate license. So
Still babies though.
yeah, right. But he started.
Yeah, we old heads, bro.
He started actually in college though. Like literally, he was in college, like calling sellers, like between lunches and going on appointments.
Dang.
Like I remember, like catching Ubers to go on appointments.
Wow.
Like I'm just like, bro,
Wow.
it's crazy. Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, the sacrifice to get to where we are, it's definitely been crazy. Like Gene said, there was a time where I couldn't get validated, for my senior year. And this, I would have to either pay $7,000 or I would have to get an apartment. That would eat up my seed money I had to be able to graduate and be able to sit on that money. So I decided to, really just sleep on a couch on a dorm room for a whole semester. I was sleeping on like 3 or 4 different people's couches. I got into a car crash at that time. I was taking Uber rides to appointments. Yeah, man, it was just a grind. I didn't have a calf plan, so every day I would have to sell like, hey, how you doing, sweetheart? Can I get a guest swipe? I'm guest swiping 3 times.
Hey, you figure it out. You figure it out at the HBCU, baby.
Exactly.
Bill plan.
Yeah.
Bro, we had a lady. I think she passed away. Rest in peace, Miss Madge.
Miss Madge.
But we would shoot a $5. You know what I'm saying? Shoot a $2 if you had.
She used to be like, just come on.
Yeah, I miss those days, man.
She said, "Come on, you need to eat." Come on, that's awesome, bro. So you guys are wholesaling, teaching people how to wholesale, but you guys have actually elevated and have gone into rental properties, multi-families, Airbnb. This Airbnb is kind of like the new wave over the last 2 or 3 years or so. Talk to us about the Airbnb flow. I know you guys are in Virginia. So do you guys have Airbnbs everywhere, or you guys concentrate on a specific area? What's going on with that?
Yeah, so I just have Airbnb specifically in Virginia at this time. We've definitely been looking. I just was talking to Corey on the deal that he got in Puerto Rico, and we were looking into it. But it's so many houses out here, so many different locations. that I feel like even if you don't want to be a real estate investor, you need to own some type of real estate.
That's right.
So Airbnb gives you that leeway, that control. Some people don't want ownership, and that's fine. It's a thing that is called rental arbitrage that a lot of people do. Basically detailing, picking up units, and then leasing them out, subleasing them to on short-term rental platforms and things of that nature. But you can do literally Airbnb anywhere. I remember it was we had something in the water out here, and people were Airbnb in their tents in the backyard for like $300 a night.
They were killing it.
I'm telling you, yes.
What?
It was that, yes.
Yeah.
It was that high demand. I my Airbnbs, I honestly I had, so at that particular time I only had two. And my one that was by the water, I was charging like $1,100 a night, and my duplex I was charging like $1,500 a night.
Man.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
They'll pay for something in the water.
Wow.
I'm telling you, if you are don't let you be in Atlanta, like when Disney World and stuff and all that thing, like tourist attractions like that, if you are in those particular areas and you can get real close to that and you have a good setup, that's a cash cow. You're gonna, I promise you, you're almost, I'm not gonna say guaranteed, but you're gonna hit 5 figures a month. Just off of even if you're at $100 a night. Man. So
wow,
you just have to do the math on everything. If it makes sense, if your mortgage or rent is particularly low, and you can cash flow more on Airbnb instead of regularly renting it out. And this is what I teach on how to go about those things and those methods, and what permits you need to do these things if needed. But yeah, it's been a game changer, honestly. It definitely has. So
now you guys were doing this even during the pandemic. 2020 was a rough year for a lot of people, but you guys were actually still killing it in the 2020.
Yeah. So we took some hits. I'm not going to lie and say we didn't, but definitely, especially in the Airbnb field, because what happened, no one really knew back in February and March of 2020 what was going on. So when the coronavirus and everything did hit, people it's a fear concept. When you're fear mongering people, they're going to get scared. So basically, if you're saying this virus is killing X amount of people and don't go outside, people are not going to do that. So that's exactly what happened. And Airbnb took it upon their hands to cancel every reservation.
Right.
Every single last one. I had reservations So I had reservations from March. Mind you, something in the water was literally about to happen again. This was the second annual something in the water. It was about to happen. So I had reservations literally from March to almost August, September, canceled.
Wow.
Canceled, wiped, gone. Like all the earned money I was supposed to make, nothing. And people didn't travel.
Wow.
For a whole 2 months, 3 months, people did not travel. People were scared to do everything. So we took a huge hit, but I still was wholesaling and flipping. So that was the thing that kept my business afloat. And I always tell people to have 6 months reserve as well too. So all of those things kept my business afloat, but we definitely took a hit. But when it picked back up, I think we definitely probably doubled or tripled our revenue. So we were able to charge more. It just was more convenient for more people. It was a more demand for Airbnb in our specific area. People wanted to literally get out of the house. Literally, I have messages of clients. They were like, "We just need a new scenery. We need to get out of the house."
Yeah,
like literally.
Right.
We're getting cabin fever.
It's crazy because you're like, and when you're in these houses all day long, bro, like people, it gets to a mental health thing now too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's been a lot of divorces, it's been a lot of breakups, it's been a lot of those things happening, and you got to realize people have basically have spent time with their significant others or whoever they've been and realize that person is not for them because they have spent so much time with them.
Right.
And it's like it's messing people's mental health up because they have to stay because either someone is providing for the whole or who everybody's providing individually, and you don't want to break up the home, and it's just a frustrating thing on everyone's mental too. And that's we've been kind of denied like mental health and things of that nature, which I'm huge with Black men and women on mental health, and that's kind of why I wanted to step in those like that type of realm, because it's definitely traumas that affect us like growing up and things of that. I know I'm going
that we don't talk about,
but we don't talk about it because as a man, you just be strong. Don't even say like, you know what I mean? I know
hold
how
your chin up. Hold your chin up.
It's like, yo, it ain't nothing to talk about or do it. Like it's just
right.
You know what I mean? So that's just how we were conditioned, and it definitely affects us in the way we go about things as well.
Right. Definitely. Corey, how about for you? How was 2020 for you, and how did you either pivot or how did you sustain what you were dealing with? Oh, and by the way, you're still in college. Yeah. You're still in college in 2020.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. So 2020 was just an amazing year for me. So it started off, we had a package deal that we did with a seller here in Richmond. So we did about 20 grand, 2 months consistently in the first year of, first 2 months of 2020. So COVID hits, I actually got put on the news because, the news people were at our school, like, oh my God, like Virginia State students are leaving. And I was on the news like, yeah, I mean, this is crazy. My grandmother already booked, the hotels and we got to go. So, I went home for a week or two. I knew a couple younger guys as well that was wholesaling in Richmond. They were 21, 22. I spent the weekend with them. They showed me 50 grand, in wholesale assignment fees in their living room. I was like, wow, this is crazy. So they were like, hey, we got a room for you. Come rent a room with us and we can work together. So I moved in with 2 Mexicans and got to learn a different culture, got to see how they cook, see how they live. And those guys worked extremely hard. So the first wave of COVID, March, April, May, we did over $130,000 in assignment fees in those 3 months with us 3 together in 2020. And then I moved out. Started back on my own thing to end off the year. We did really well at the end of 2020. We did over 49 deals in 2020. So it was just 2020 was a good year for wholesaling. I think a lot of people over the board.
Bro, hold on. Hey, Corey. You talk fast. I want you to back it up.
My bad.
How many deals in 2020?
So 49 deals in 2020.
Wow.
That's mad.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was about 3 months, 3.5 a month. Yeah.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. Nah, that's definitely bro. So obviously we want to highlight HBCU life and highlight the importance of HBCUs. How did going to an HBCU prepare you for life?
For life, like we said earlier, the HBCU is really.
Corey, you just graduated. Shut up. You ain't lived life yet. I just
life. We live it.
Corey grew up while he was in college already.
Right. Corey was grown by his junior year.
Right. So I think I'm gonna just touch on that a little bit. So basically, I feel like college kind of prepared me for life. I had my first child at 19, 20. So it was more so of an in college. So it was more so of an adjustment for me to do that and to maintain the responsibilities of being a father and still being an active full-time student athlete as well. Wow. So it was it definitely was it definitely was some bumps in the road for sure. But I feel like the HBCU, along with my father's guidance, it really kind of just gave me the balance I needed to figure it out. Like more so of in like, yo, okay, this is your responsibilities. And we always like, even Coach Gene Thompson, like he always was preaching like, yo, don't make excuses. Like we can't make excuses as a black man. Like it's not really too many. My dad would preach the same exact message. So I'm getting this from my father, and I'm getting this from I'm an instructor, and from Coach Scott, who's at Norfolk State as well. He was a huge mentor for me as well. And he's telling me like, yo, it's going to be different when he's preparing me for the world. So along with football as well, all actively compiled with being in the HBCU, seeing every black face, black men that are literally leaders of their family as well. These are people that are taking care of families. So it was inspirational to see that because I know that we are pictured that we aren't like that. So when you see those positive images, it makes you want to have that same type of lifestyle. You want the family. You want the to take care of everyone, to being the provider. So that's kind of what the HBCU set for me, especially with Gene Thompson, Coach Scott, my father, and it played a huge role in my life, and as far as being a man, because I don't think we were really taught how to actually be a man. Right. So it's hard to kind of really just figure everything out on your own. Like, sometimes so that's why
on your own too.
One more time.
Sometimes you got to figure it out on your own too.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what makes some people stronger than others as well. And that's exactly like all of this is exactly what I always preach and on the environmental of where anyone comes from and overcoming their overcoming anything that they go through, especially being black. Like we are 10 times. We have it 10 times harder than any other race. It's obvious. Like we all know it. So it's more inspiring seeing black men. Like even when I see black men with their kids and stuff, I congratulate them because I'm like, yo, y'all my age and doing this. Like this is that's dope. Like keep on, like, because if you don't give them that positive reinforcement, who's gonna do it?
That's right.
Who gonna do it? Somebody will give it to them. Somebody will give them some type of influence.
Yeah, but it won't be positive. So I like it to be like, if I see it, if I see a black man doing something, like I'm complimenting. I'm like, yo, that's good, brother. Like for real, like
that's dope.
I mean, keep on.
That's dope.
That's because we need that. We need those type of positive reinforcement.
We do, for sure.
Like you said, the HBCU experience molded me in life. Really, overall, just giving me that structure and knowing kind of like what Gene said, that, you know, the odds are against us. And I love to use that just as motivation, knowing where I come from and knowing, yeah, I'm an HBCU alum. Like I went to Virginia State University. There's nothing to play with over here. I'm about my business and I'm going to do exactly what I say I'm going to do. And I know that, you know, the people that came before me are expecting the best from me because I went to an HBCU. I graduated from HBCU. All the people that still follow with me, email me, check, hey, Corey, how you doing? I know that I represent them. So anytime I am doing business or I am dealing with tenants or anybody in this world, I want to make sure I represent that image right, because at the end of the day, they're going to remember what university I came from. And I just wanted people to, when they know my name, they know VSU. Oh, he went to that black school that you guys like to talk negative about. Yeah, that's what school I went to the last 4 years. What is your son doing? That's what I like to carry.
Hey, Corey, have you gone back to your teacher?
I love it, bro.
That told you that you wouldn't be successful? Have you gone back to tell her what you're doing?
Greenbrier?
Yeah, no, for sure. And of course, we're so proud of you. And
we always knew you were different.
Yeah, we knew you were
the favorite line.
Oh, you were the good one. We knew it.
Yeah, no. So. Yeah, Yeah, no, I definitely got to go back. And like I said, I think it's just shocking for people in that environment from my school to see like this kid's buying real estate. He's flipping homes. Like, how is he doing that? You know, they're working for their parents, so they're doing what they love. But just to see, you know, someone of their age actually owning investment properties, having rental properties, doing flips that we're doing right now is just
And made it on your own, bro.
Yeah. No, a lot of people
Like-
help me for sure. A lot of people help me for sure. Like
No,
Gene.
I mean for sure. But as entrepreneurs, you will pass on something to your children.
Yeah.
So your children will have that foundation.
Yeah.
But somebody has to build that foundation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to say, so to be able to build a foundation
Yeah.
for someone for the next generations,
That legacy.
and I put S on that, to come, says something, and that's big.
That legacy is big.
For sure, for sure. And I wanted to touch on that really quickly. There was this deal, and I was talking to Gene about where a few of my friends, you know, they were from other, you know, ethnicities, and you know, they wanted to get their first investment property, and their dad just wrote a check for 80 grand, said, "Hey, take that." And their uncle just wrote a check, said, "Hey, pay me back 5% interest. Go have your first rental property." I didn't have that, and I was just struggling with that, and I started getting resourceful. And Gene was giving me tips like, "Hey, there's people out there that if you have a great deal, the numbers make sense, they'll give you the money." I bought my second property with $2K out of pocket. And I could have made a Gene, if I would have told to Gene beforehand, I could have made money up front. So we just got to be resourceful. And I know that we come from adverse, you know, backgrounds, but I use that as motivation to be resourceful in this environment to make sure that I like it as a badge of honor and just work harder for sure.
So,
Absolutely, man.
So with your adverse background, with all the adversities that you guys had to go through, obviously as a childhood, you know, what kept you guys grinding? Because some people would have just given up even before they even got to high school. What kept you guys going?
So what kept me going, you know, when those hard times came, you know, when there was struggles, when deals didn't go through, or when life was happening. I remember my grandma got cancer, my car crashed. I was living on the couch, and I was just saying, you know what? There's someone else that's looking at me. There's other people that's depending on me. There's other people I know on Instagram that are like, "Man, Corey, keep pushing. We're proud of you." Or, you know, even at my university, people are like, "Yeah, I know you're gonna make it." And also, you know, I like to compete, so I'm seeing other people online every day. Some people may look at it. I look at positive. Wow, there's other people that are doing deals consistently. I know if that man can do it,
Right.
I know that I could provide value in this marketplace and be able to do deals as well. So just a mixture of knowing that people are behind me and also just knowing that, man, we've been through so much, man. Our generation, you know, our grandparents, the stuff that they've been through, that they had to deal with, whatever I'm going through, compared to what they went through, come on.
Ain't nothing.
Come on. Come
Ain't
on.
nothing.
I could keep fighting. I could keep working.
Ain't nothing.
Ain't nothing. What? They couldn't even use this.
Right. Ain't nothing.
Nah. So that's really what kept me going for sure.
That's dope.
You got the internet. They ain't even had the internet.
You got the internet. Come on. I like that.
You got to sell. You can do a deal on the cell phone.
Right. They had to mail.
All
they
facts.
had to mail everything in and stuff, fax it. And
Telegram.
Right.
They had
Telegram.
laws.
Facts.
They had
Send
laws
it by
back in the
pigeon.
day. Exactly. They had laws back in the day that specifically made sure that our people didn't get home ownership. Specifically built houses and said that you cannot sell or lease African Americans.
So while
Facts.
you're on that, can you touch
All
upon
facts.
the importance of us as Black people owning and gaining ownership in, you know, the 40 the 40 acres and a mule? Can you talk about that? How important that is for us as a culture?
I mean, Gene tells me all the time. I mean, like I said, I think sometimes I've always been told, don't trip over the pennies on your way to the dollars. And I think a lot of us just get caught in the fast money, whether it's fast in real estate as well, or if it's fast in the streets or whatever, you know, vehicle that you're using to get, you know, money. I think ownership is key. Because if you look around, other people are owning stuff, right? Even yesterday, I was so upset at myself. I went into this neighborhood that is predominantly African-American, and I saw that there was another race that had their own grocery store here. I'm like, wow, they have their own grocery store, and we don't got no grocery store in this area. Wow, I make money. I go to Wells Fargo. A lot. I'm a Wells Fargo guy, and it's all our people working there, operating it, managers in the back, but we don't own a bank in this community.
Wow.
At all.
I just like as soon as I get a check, where's it going? It's going right back to them. I live in a penthouse. It's going to them. They own the penthouse, the phone, the MacBook, the Wi-Fi, my clothes, my food that I go to.
Go all right back to them.
Wow.
So we need it, and we have to, do what we got to do to get ownership. The opportunity is there. Like I said, we have a struggle, but we got to use it as motivation to keep pushing. Like, I don't even think of the struggles. I'm like, nah, they love me. They love the way I talk, the way I look, and I'm gonna work and do what I say I'm gonna do. So ownership is very, very important for us, man. We gotta step it up.
Yeah, I just want to touch on that too. I'm a big ownership guy just because at the end of the day, I knew that I had to pass something down. I didn't want to. I started from scratch, so I didn't want my kids started from scratch. Even though I knew my parents provided everything that I needed, I still like business aspect. It's a whole different ball game. That's a whole nother world. So you're not really
another beast.
Yeah, you're not really prepared for those type of situations that come in at hand. And when you kind of figuring it out by yourself, it's just like, okay, you're just rolling with the punches. So I was making a lot of money real fast. It was just honest to God. And with our culture, we get caught up in like keeping it going. So I was like, hold on, I'm tripping. Like, let me fall back. You got and I'll be the person to tell you, when you make a lot of money, it changes you, but it needs to change you for the better. So with that being said, I knew I had to check myself. So when I started checking myself, I got back to my principles. I got back to my morals. I got back to where what really started it, and I started buying property because, of course, we all buy materialistic things, and I was doing it, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, it just doesn't make any sense, right? So I have a closet full of stuff, but I didn't have any assets. I was like, I'm playing the game backwards. I'm like, this is the game that they literally want us to play. Like, and I'm falling victim to it. So I really get mad at myself.
Falling into the trap.
I get so upset with myself when I do it, man. Like, you don't understand. So I check myself and I go buy cribs. Like, that's the only thing. Like, it's not like and I'll go heavy though. Like, I buy 5 cribs at one time. Like, because it's like I didn't much into basically overcome all that. I'm like, if I buy like 3 houses, I can be like, okay, like that can just subsidize for that. So that's
big flex.
Like and I'm just more so of the like I've came from both sides of the aspect of the business world. Like I've been in the underground business, and I've been in business. So it's the same aspect, but we don't have it set up correctly. And that's the only thing behind that. And we fall victim to not own, like, and that's what I've saw. Like my mentor, he's a Jewish guy. And to be honest, like I'm like damn near Robin Hood, because he tell me what they be doing, and I just be like, it's what they be doing. Like, come on, like, let's go.
Hey,
let's do this. Like, because this is what they doing. Like, this is what they doing over here. So like,
they got their own grocery store. They got their own.
When I tell you, they have their own everything.
They got their own ambulance. They got their own police.
And
they got their
that's
own
and that's another thing I want to touch on. Like with HBCUs and everything, you see how it was like we all were together as a culture, blacks, right? All of us, or any minorities, all were together as one. When they segregate, when they basically put everyone together, black and white, and when we started basically wanting equality instead of ownership, it shifted our whole race by like 50 years.
That's where we messed up.
We steady fighting for equality, which we shouldn't be fighting for. Of course, we want to be equal, but why not want your own everything too? Why we can't have our own community? Chinatown got their own Chinatown.
Right.
The Italians got their own everything. Why can't it be not an
Hello.
all black everything, all black
With
security,
Hello.
all black police enforcement, all black government? And this it gets so deep and rooted to where you have to play the political game,
Right.
because you can't change anything just marching and protesting. I'm telling you, it's sad to say, you have to change things with policies and procedures, bro. Because that's what they do once again. And I got that from a Jewish guy. You change with policies and procedures.
Man.
You change with policies and procedures. I can't even, the stuff he tells me is something I can't even touch on, because that is how far it's wrapped up. Like, I don't even get into politics because I know what's really going on. It's just ridiculous. So
yeah, I was thinking, with MLK Day coming up, I always watch his last speech where he really talked about us coming together and boycotting, because I believe that's
why they killed him. That last speech killed him.
That last speech was it. Yeah. It was over. And like he said, with us not doing integration more, like even the HBCUs, could you imagine nowadays them starting an HBCU right now? They couldn't. We don't even have the mindset to be like, let's have our own. Busing. Imagine if they would say, instead of us marching to want to get on their bus, how about we pull our money on this side of town, get our own bus company going, which we had, but Brother King was like, no, we want equality. I feel like he should have said, you know what, let's pull our money together, get our own buses, and continue to run the cycle like everybody else does. So
ownership is key, bro. Ownership is key. And one thing that I will suggest and give you guys, but I'm sure you've already thought about it and you've already come up with a plan. But I wish. Now, I went to school on basketball scholarship. Ooh. However, when I got to school, I started hearing about these refund checks that I had no idea about. But I don't need the money for school. And somebody was like, yeah, but my dad pays for my school, but I still get a refund check. Or, I'm on scholarship, but I still get a refund check.
Right.
I wish someone would have taught me, take that refund check, go buy some property.
I tell my students that all the time.
I wish someone would have said, take this refund check, go buy some stocks.
Yep.
Go take this refund check, go own some. I wish I bought a property across the street from the school, lived in it, and rented the other rooms out to other people.
That's right.
But we are not taught that.
That's right.
However, I got my refund check, and like everybody else, I went to Daytona. Like everybody, like everybody else, I went to the mall. And like that day in Norfolk, like, bro, you literally can see, smell, and hear when everybody got their refund check.
That's right.
Because you saw the new shoes, the new clothes,
the new cars.
You smelled the liquor off of their breath, and you saw the fun that they were having with that refund check.
Right.
Versus going to get some property, versus going to own some stocks, versus buying a building, renting it out, and actually having a plan. And ownership is key.
That's right. And actually, that's something, Kedar, that I'm actually telling my students when they come in my office. I'm like, look, when you get to college, you're going to get refund checks. Take that money, invest that money, flip that money, find a way to utilize that money to make more money. Don't blow it on something that you're not even going to have. You're going to probably give it to Goodwill in about a year or two. Use it for something else that's going to help you, put you in a position where you're not even going to have to work for anyone. And that's what I wish that someone would have sat down and told me when I was like 17, 18, even 19. You know, I probably would be like you guys by now. So,
No, it's big. Ownership is key. I look in my closet, and I'm an entrepreneur and my business does fairly well. The first time I bought a pair of red bottoms, I look at my closet now because I don't even wear them and be like, yo, what was I thinking? It's nothing more than a trophy in my closet
that's right.
that I don't even actually enjoy.
That's right.
But I could have took that $3,000 and actually bought a property from it. Actually put that money into some stocks and let it make money for me.
That's right.
So you guys got the right idea. I'm learning.
Yeah, I'm learning too with you guys.
Yeah, you can't. You never, and that's what I've learned is never. Knowledge it doesn't have an age limit. So
right.
I try to be open to anyone who can honestly teach me anything that is in the right form. So
Nah, that's awesome, man.
So what do you guys think that your 50-year-old or 40-year-old self would tell you guys now? Like, what do you think they will say to you guys now?
go harder.
Go harder.
For real, go harder because it's like I'm saying, like, honest. I told Corey this year is like the year we cross over to 7 figures because we've consistently done 6. So it's not. It's just a number. Like, it's just people get so fearful behind these numbers, and when you honestly put them into actionable steps, because like I was saying, I was making 10,000 on my first deals of like for a long time until I upped the number to 15,000. And then from 15,000, I upped it from 20. From 20, I upped it to 25. And then from that, the $45,000 one was just like, okay, I can do anything. Like, it's nothing that lets me know that there's a limit. So basically we decided that when you're helping more people, it's beneficial for everybody because you're teaching tons and tons of people, thousands of people, hundreds and thousands of people, and they are literally feeding their family off of the information you're teaching them. So you're literally teaching them how to fish. So if you teach someone how to fish, they're able to eat for the rest of their life. Like, I don't want, right, exactly. So I don't want to have to basically like teach someone and they have to keep coming back to me because that means I haven't taught you well enough. Wow. Because if I teach you, you're going to leave with this information and you're going to go and put those into actionable steps and you'll be able to do exactly what I do, if not better, and to provide for your family, which is the ultimate goal.
That's dope. That's dope that you guys are doing that because we find that in our race that we almost live in a crab mentality where it's like if I'm successful, I'm not gonna really tell you how I did it. You're just gonna have to figure it out on your own. So to the fact that you guys are doing it, but then literally giving step by step, so that you guys can see, and you mentioned it even earlier, just seeing the success of Corey, that makes you even more happier. So to see that's dope, man.
And Corey will now bring you deals.
Yeah.
Right.
And
that's exactly like that's literally how it worked. Like that's really how it worked. And then like we got so connected. It was just like, hey, we might as well let's partner. Let's just do this together.
Awesome.
Like you can go further. You can go because we both were going through things in our businesses, and I'm telling him how to do things, and he's telling me how to do things with as far as systems. Because I was running a whole one-man operation for the longest. And he's like, bro, you got to systemize this, systemize that. And I'm like, okay, And I'm putting those processes into my business and it worked. So he's giving me advice. I'm giving him advice. I'm like, okay, bro, we might as well put this together and teach everybody.
Right.
Like, you bring one aspect of the game, I bring another aspect. We both bring two different aspects. We come from different walks of life. It just shows you that people of color like us can succeed, and it doesn't matter how old you are. It's just it's the information that was withheld from us. And if we can reproduce the knowledge that we received, we can help tens and thousands and maybe hopefully millions of people. So
Bro, that's awesome.
that's the thing we want, and we want to do it like we want, like, I hope hopefully when COVID like clears up and everything, we could do like a HBCU tour or something to where we're going to HBCUs and giving back the information and things of that nature. So
when we do our Black to School podcast HBCU tour, you guys are definitely guests on that for sure. Because we definitely want y'all to teach people how to invest their refund checks. That's gonna be the whole thing. I'm bringing y'all on,
okay,
just to teach people how to invest their refund check.
Yes.
Period.
I really wish I would have known this, because I was on football scholarship, so I'm gonna be completely honest with you. And I lived off campus, so I was getting probably around like 8,000 to 10,000 a semester.
Easy.
It was like,
easy.
You was on scholarship, you know. I know. We was bro. When I tell you, we was really. That's what I'm saying. We really were doing whatever, like, because. And I really wish I would have invested, because we were into Bitcoin around that time, but we didn't use Bitcoin for what it was used for. So, and that's because of a knowledge thing. Once again, we didn't know. I remember buying Bitcoin. It's crazy, because it's like, dang, like, I've known about this for years, but I didn't know the business aspect of it. So it was just more so of it's just everything's a learning experience. And a lot of us weren't talking about how they were getting their success, because of it wasn't a lot of platforms like podcasts or Instagram, things of that nature. So
right. Bro, this has been an amazing conversation. I've learned a lot. I know Virginia State is proud to have y'all. Alumni who don't know y'all that will hear this podcast will be proud that they are even graduates of Virginia State, and even more proud that you guys are graduates of Virginia State. Obviously, this podcast is dedicated to HBCUs. So in closing remarks, please, if anybody is listening and they are considering an HBCU, or they are an alumni of an HBCU, just give words of wisdoms of why they should choose or what they should do to give back to their HBCU, please.
So if you're listening now and you're on the fence of going to an HBCU or PWI or wherever you decide to go, just think about it. If you haven't had the experience to see people like you, like I didn't have that experience. If you didn't have that experience, if you always come from different minorities having success, and you want to see like people like you having success, and people like you actually striving in life, and actually educators that look like you and actually care for you, and you know it's actually genuine, because they treat you like, it's more so they treat you like a grandchild or a nephew. So it's a genuine love. You know how that grandfather, like, you know how our culture is when we take something in and we take one on. So
no bullshit.
That is an HBCU in a nutshell. Like it really is that. We are all, it's like all one big swag surf, I promise you. And it is the best thing, because I promise you play that song at any HBCU. You play that song at any HBCU, and we all linking arms. We all are linking together, one unified, and we all rocking as one. So it's more so of that's how I would describe it, man. Like that's really HBCU.
Big swag, love it.
That was
Corey.
an amazing response right there, y'all. You got me thinking about I'm thinking about homecoming now. I'm like, man, it's crazy. I wish I could go back, right? But for anyone here that is thinking about an HBCU, or any people that are alumni and want to give back, for the people that are considering it and thinking about it, I would say my biggest advice to you guys is, just block out the negative, right? If you hear any negative stuff about an HBCU, actually open your mind up and really give it a chance to even just really think about it. Really think about the people that look like you that came before you to make those sacrifices for that school to still be where it's at today. And ask yourself, do you want to be a part of that great legacy to make that HBCU even better?
Wow.
That's what I really want to say to people that are considering it. And you just got to just block the negative out and really look at it for what it is. There's many opportunities there. There's great vibes, great energy, great professors that are going to really care for you. And please take that thought that you're not going to make six figures when you graduate, or you're not going to be able to get a job when you graduate. How about you have that solid foundation of being around sharp, like-minded, ambitious people of color, and then go off in the world and never be a minority again in your rooms and just work and kill. And for all my alumni out there, the fun that y'all had, the think about the people that worked at these schools, the people that made sacrifices for you guys, whether it was your professor, whether it was a janitor, whatever it was, guys, we got to give back. It's up to us.
Back.
That's right.
It's on us. It's up to us. If you're HBCU and and you're reading the Google reports and you're getting the jokes that your school is not doing well, you play a part in that as well. Because there were people that when you were there made sure that VSU or whatever HBCU had was good. Now it's our job to make sure that HBCU is good. And y'all, alumni, whenever somebody talks HBCU stuff, please talk positive about that school, because you know that you got some great takeaways from your HBCU experience. Don't forget where you guys come from.
Dope.
Absolutely.
Dope.
Man, this has been an amazing conversation. I had no idea. I don't know you guys. Hughes brought this. Hughes brought this to me.
I appreciate it.
Here's what Hughes said. Hughes was like, "Hey, this is gonna be my first time talking to him, so I don't really know him. So I don't know how this conversation gonna go." I said, "The conversation is gonna go amazing because we don't know them. So this is us getting to know them. So if they doing what they doing, like the conversation gonna be great regardless." And absolutely, this conversation has been amazing, man.
I was excited. I was excited to meet y'all for the first time, and y'all over surpassed anything I expected.
Yeah, y'all blew it. Y'all blew it out the waters, bro.
This was amazing.
Absolutely,
man. This was amazing.
Yeah, I look, man. You guys are inspiration to me. I'm actually taking one of my businesses and the monies that I make there, and I am now jumping into the real estate game. So,
let's go.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I just started taking a course. With Jamal King, who calls himself the 9 to 5 millionaire out of Chicago. He's a cop who started in his 20s, started doing deals, and now he's teaching other people how to do deals. And I said, yo, let me just take a course. So you guys are definitely inspiration to me as well, man. So
same here.
Much love, much HBCU love, much Black man love. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate this conversation for sure.
No, much
for sure.
Thank you guys so much for
having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. How can people find you guys if they want to ask you guys questions or anything? Where can they find you? And we'll also upload this information when we publish this podcast.
So you can find me at on Instagram at Real Estate Cash. It's all one word, Real Estate Cash on Instagram, and my Facebook is Gene Holloman. Those are pretty much all of my social media platforms. Clubhouse. Clubhouse is a thing now too. I can't leave that out. We're going big on
I'm on Clubhouse,
guys. Yes, so it's Real Estate Cash on Clubhouse as well. In Clubhouse, when we are on Clubhouse, we do give away we're just giving away free game. So that's just gotcha. What we do. Also, we have a course that is the links in our bio, Real Estate Cash Academy. you guys can click and enroll or join the wait list. We're literally launching Monday. So we're giving everybody, we're pushing everything from A to Z, wholesaling, Airbnb, how to attain these properties, ownership, and everything. We're doing 3 live calls a week and everything just to stay on top of the students.
Wow.
That's dope.
Wow.
Yes, we're trying to provide
Wow.
super value. So it's like, no, we're giving our all. Like, we're giving our all to you guys. So it's
Bruh,
no
that's
way
what's
to
up.
get a deal. So yeah.
That's what's up. Corey, how can we find you?
So you can find me on Instagram at cvic00. That's my Instagram page. Drop a little bit of content there. And also, like Gene said, you can find us, realestatecashacademy.com. You can connect with us on there as well.
Man, you guys are awesome, man. Thank y'all for coming on, man.
For sure.
Thank you guys.
God bless.
God bless you.
God bless, man.
y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
Man, that was dope, bro. That was, man. It's always good to see 2 young dudes coming together and doing it their way.
Man.
And the greatest thing about that, they got that Virginia State pride, and
That's right.
to just show up on the yard with a new Porsche and 45,000 in your pocket. Well, I would have followed you to the promised land too.
Look, so we're at the part of the show where it's the lesson of the day, where we talk about what we got from that interview. Kedar, man, that was a good one. I need to know, what'd you get from that, man?
Lesson of the day. Give back. Man, I'm reading these books by John Maxwell, and it's all about service. It's all about giving back. And when you create things to give back, create avenues, create paths to give back, you are blessed beyond measure. I mean, here you got one dude that's really cool, really good in wholesaling, and he's making his way, and another guy who has different strategies, and then to team up, now you're making more money.
That's right.
Now you're making more money than you ever had, just because you say, you know what, let's team up and let's create this for others.
With 2 more gathered.
That was my lesson of the day for me.
So look, my lesson of the day was the fact that they went through some challenges, man. Like, I know they it might seem like peaches and cream right now. They're making 6 figures. They're talking about they're gonna be touching 7 figures this year. But the mere fact that Corey, had some issues where I think his grandmother passed away, and then got in a car accident and sleeping on various people's couches. The mere fact, and then Gene graduating and then having a baby, and then he didn't have time, so he had to work. But the mere fact, like, they had these challenges in the road, and sometimes people might just be like, man, like, I know I want to do this, but I might just give up, man. But the fact that they were just tenacious, and they're hungry, man. And like, if you caught when they said in an interview, they didn't say we might make 7 figures. They said we're gonna touch 7 figures this year. So I was like, man. So I was really, really impressed with these boys, man. And I don't want to say boys, but they're only 23 and 27. They're babies.
They young, boy. Young whippersnappers.
So look, that was a great interview. We hope that you enjoyed it and you got something from it. If you did, please let us know. But definitely come back. Kedar,
subscribe, tell your peoples. Like, look, man, we out here just trying to bring these successful stories to everybody, just to give them a little bit more confidence in our HBCUs. Look, we really want to increase engagement, enrollment, and endowments for HBCUs. So subscribe, like, share, listen on your favorite podcast app. Email us blacktheschoolpodcast@gmail.
Gmail.com.
Email us 3 people you think we should interview.
That's right. So look, come back next week. Take a look into the next week's episode.
Yeah.
I'm Happy University, man. All day.
Okay,
University.
okay.
I know y'all Norfolk State, right? I know that.
Yeah.
I try not to bring it out too early, man. I know y'all ain't State, man, but you know,
that's what we're here for,
man.
That's what we're here for. But I gotta ask you now. You said Hampton, so the debate all the time is which one is the real HU. So I gotta ask you, which one is the real HU?
It's definitely Hampton. There's no question. No question.